Alrighty, I saw him coming. I saw him coming. Oh my God, I saw him coming. I saw him coming. Come here, baby. Woo! I saw him coming. I saw him coming. I hope you can see that on the Livescope. I hope you can see that. I saw that big dude coming. Oh my gosh. I hope I don't let the bag out on this secret. What a secret. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Haven't done a settings video in a long time. And what happens, let me explain to you what this is. When you do a video and it comes out, it gets really hot, and then as it falls further down the queue, people don't look for it quite as much, or it doesn't come up in searches quite a bit. So I feel like I need to do a new one of these videos every so often, just kind of remind people of what my favorite settings are. Look, they're not always the perfect settings, but they are a great place to start from. You know, if you're searching or really don't know where to start from, these settings will get you going. But one thing I'm going to start doing on all the videos is just reminding folks of, if you want to, I'm going to put it in the description below, a link to my Livescope Masterclass. It has almost 100,000 views. It is essentially the Bible of Livescope fishing, and it is where to turn to if you're a beginner or even somebody who's pretty good but just wants to know some of what certain things do or things like that, or just need a good starting point. It's about 2 hours long. It's a fantastic video. It's been well received, and look, it's a great place for you to get all the information. I'm going to put that in the description below, but let's get started into our settings right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to the screen and do a screen recording and kind of put some, and you know, talk over it, do a voiceover, and we're going to start. I'm going to reset it to absolute defaults, and when I reset it to defaults, we're going to start just like you would pretty much get it out of the boat. Get it out of the box, resetting it to defaults, and show you. I'm going to go all the way through it, show you how I set up each deal, and we'll talk about it. But let's get going right now. All right, I've reset everything to default settings. This will be exactly how it is when you first start off. But these are how I set up my initial settings. It'll come in the downward orientation with grid lines on, all the overlay data and everything like that. And there, you can go in any deal, but any order, but I always set my install depth to 2.5 feet. That helps you see the jig better when it enters the water. I have a video on that if you want to look that up. Matter of fact, I'll put it in the description below. Then I want to change my orientation to forward. This is what 99% of the people use at all times. So let's go ahead and change it to forward and get that set up. So now we've got the install depth set up, we got the forward mode set up, and now we're adjusting focus. Now focus is aligning the beams for the most optimal picture. Now if you need to know what focus is or how to adjust it or what adjusting it does, I have a video for that also. I'm going to put that into the description. So you'll know what focus is, and focus is very important. Everybody's beams don't always line up. And they never will. This is built in a factory, and so it's going to be a little bit different. But then I want to go into my appearance, and I'm going to go ahead and these are all my initial settings, so they're not going to be perfect for every unit, but they're dang near it. So I change my color gain to about 85. I leave my color limit on 0%. I always have. I very rarely use color limit, only when there's a lot of pollen in the water. Now I'm going to start really fine-tuning the unit. I'm going to change my grid overlay. I turn my grid overlay off. I hide it. I don't want scroll history. Now, when it comes down to reverse range, which you'll see right there, and if you want to know what scroll history is kind of a poor man's down view or down scan, but that's pretty much all it is. Now, I'm a bass guy, so when I have reverse range, I either want it on minimum or hide it completely. I don't care what's behind the boat. And the reason you put it on minimum or you hide it completely is it maximizes the screen. And for some of the guys with a 9-inch screen, you don't want it on default or whatever, because you're minimizing your screen down to 6 or 7 inches. I'm a bass guy, so I want to look always forward. And if you're a crappie guy, you may want to put it, maybe on minimum or something like that. But I'm a bass guy, so I want to maximize that screen at all times. Now we're going to go to overlay. I don't need a depth because I can look at the left side of the screen and see those numbers and line those numbers up. Knowing how deep of water I am, I don't need it. I will keep the time on, but most of the other things I turn off, because if I want to see that, I'll go to the driver's seat and look onto that fish finder and get all the information I want. But let's start fine-tuning some of the settings now. We're going to turn our noise reject on low to medium. There are times we will turn it on to high. That's if we're jerking the bait away from fish and we kind of want to slow that screen and slow that return down. And by doing that, that'll kind of take some of this, jerking it out of their mouth. Not a big fan of ghost reject. I turn it off. Now, TVG, time varying gain. That clears the upper portion of the screen around the transducer. I have a video on TVG if you really want to know the fine details of that and what it actually does. But TVG helps two things. It clears up the clutter of that screen, but it also helps stabilize the returns from the top of the water column down to the bottom. That way they're always equal. Now we've pretty much got it set up. And regardless of whether you have an Echo map or a GPS map touch, this is pretty much in terms of setting wise what your home screen will look like. GPS map has the little bar at the bottom, as opposed to having the little favorite keys and things like that. But and this is my setup. This is how I get going. 68 gain, 85 color gain, 0 color limit, noise reject low to medium, TVG low, ghost reject off. And I have lots of other videos where I talk about color palettes that I use, lots of other videos that I talk about, when I change color palettes according to. I have videos talking about the depths, the ranges I use. And if you want to know what ranges I use, I'll go real quickly through it right here. I want to use the minimum forward distance that I can get away with. If I'm in open water, you really got to get out there to 80, 100 feet. But if I'm in around docks, I'll use even shorter. All right, guys, I hope that helped you as we went step by step as to setting up your unit and everything that I do. Is it the only way? Before somebody gets in there and says, oh, that's not how I do. I get it. Everybody's got their own ways. But this is the way I've done it, and I've caught so many big fish doing it. It works from lake to lake. Doesn't matter the water clarity, doesn't matter water temperature. It doesn't even really matter pollen-wise for me. I don't have a big problem with pollen. It just seems to hold, I guess, its integrity no matter where you go and no matter what clarity of water in the country or where you go in the country. It seems to do good. And I hope that helped you. Once again, check out the Masterclass. I'll put the link in the description below. And guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Ring the bell.